Hello and welcome back to Func. My name's Colby Hawk.
And I'm Brady West. Thanks for tuning in, and happy Friday's Eve, everyone. Tomorrow is Friday the 13th. Speaking of which, did your family ever have superstitions with Friday the 13th?
Well, I wouldn't say really superstitions as much as just it's kind of a popular culture thing. Actually, funny enough, at my old school, we had one of our big rival games on Friday the 13th that year. So we had T-shirts made for it and everything. It was like a whole big deal. So, everybody knows about Friday the 13th.
Oh, yes. Jason Voorhees, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Is the man with the hockey mask, the horror slasher. My mom, that was probably the thing she hated the most, she said, from her time period in terms of horror movies.
Be what, 80s movies? I'm not a big horror film person, but everybody knows about the hockey mask. So.
The iconic hockey mask.
So if you see anybody with a hockey mask around campus tomorrow, you might want to keep an eye out.
The Furman Lake specifically, I'd stay away from there.
Yeah, maybe not tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe. You can do it the next day, but not tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, with that in mind, let's take a look at the weather forecast now, shall we? Today started off with some nasty rain, but it then brightened up a bit with a high of 64 degrees and a low of 34. Then on Friday, you can expect a high of 64 and low of 41 with light clouds throughout the day. On Saturday, it's expected to be a high of 76 degrees and a low of 48. Be sure to take advantage of the weather throughout the weekend because on Sunday, there will be showers with thunderstorms in the evening. That's it for the weather.
Today's word of the day is gambit. A gambit is something done or said in order to gain an advantage or to produce a desired effect. It can be used in the context of sentences such as, the workers' opening gambit in the negotiations was to demand a wage hike.
In sporting news, your Furman basketball team made the NCAA tournament for the first time since the 2023 season. After defeating East Tennessee State, a team the Dens had already lost to twice this season, 76-61, the Paladins officially clinched their spot in the tournament and secured their 8th SoCon tournament championship. Led by Cooper Bowser's dominant 21 points and 12 rebounds, Furman simply outplayed the first-seeded Bucks. With the selection Sunday looming, the Paladins can anticipate being a 14-6 seed, but nevertheless, your Dens have enough talent to upset whatever team they may come against. And maybe, just maybe, they can be the Cinderella team of the tournament. At the moment, no one knows who or when your Paladins will play, so be sure to tune in for Selection Sunday. Roll Dens.
For the first time in what feels like forever, we have Carolina Panthers news. The Cardiac Cats have been big spenders in free agency this past week, so let's take a look at some of their most noteworthy moves. For starters, Carolina signed former Dolphin and Eagles edge rusher Jalen Phillips to a 4-year, $120 million contract. Considering his injury history and lack of production, this feels like a steep overpay. However, the soon-to-be 27-year-old was top 10 in pressures during the second half of the last season, so maybe there's something there. Additionally, the Panthers signed All-Pro linebacker Davin Lloyd to a 3-year, $45 million contract, and I absolutely love it. For one, Lloyd was anticipated to get closer to $60 million this offseason, so Carolina got him for relatively cheap. For two, successful Carolina teams of the past have been defined by elite middle linebackers play, and hopefully Lloyd can fill the shoes of past players like Sam Mills, John Beeson, and Luke Kilchie. Finally, for all the ball knowers out there, the Max Crosby trade fiasco and Bam Adebayo dropping 83 on the same day is crazy. That's all for sports.
Well, there are some very interesting CLPs coming up this week, so let's take a look at some of them coming up soon. At 7:30 p.m. this Friday, be sure to check out Furman's Symphonic Band Concert in Ms. McAllister Auditorium. In this performance, Furman's Symphonic Band will be in conjunction with the South Carolina All-State Band, so you can definitely expect quite a musical experience.
On Tuesday, March 7th, FUICA's International Dance Festival will be held in McAllister Auditorium. This event brings traditional dances, musics, rhythms, and attire from around the world to Furman's very own main stage.
Today's motivational quote comes from Herman Melville. It goes as follows: "It's better to fail in originality than to succeed in imitation." Though it may seem easier to imitate others and succeed, it is always just better to be yourself. It may seem cliche, but it's true.
And with that, that's it for today's show. If you have any questions, comments, or stories, be sure to contact us at can'tstopthefunk@gmail.com or our Instagram, can'tstopthefunk. I'm Brady West.
And I'm Colby Hawk. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to check us out on the big screen in the Trone Center next week. We'll be shown there on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 11:20 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. We'll see you next week.